guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We're here in Nashville, Tennessee for the media launch of this vehicle right here. This is it. This is the all-new, first time ever, 2023 Nissan Ariya. But before we get into this electrified crossover SUV from this iconic Japanese brand, let's talk about what's going on here. Nissan, they are doing the business with going through their lineup one by one and making some big changes. Of course, we've already brought you the redesigned Rogue, the Pathfinder, the Nissan Z. Well, guess what? This Ariya, like I said, is something totally new, and it is going to lead them into the future with electrification. Now, the interesting thing is, a lot of people tend to forget that Nissan has been doing electrified vehicles for over a decade. What vehicle is that? The Nissan Leaf. This, though, is something totally different, starting with a clean slate and really trying to pick exactly the design, the technology, and the performance that people are going to be wanting and are currently wanting with their electrified vehicle. Now, the auto industry is moving towards that full electrification. Many experts are saying that by 2030, 40% of vehicles built and sold will be electrified. So Nissan is making its mark not only with the Ariya, but they are expected to bring plenty of electrified vehicles for the future as we get closer to 2023. So what I want to find out is, has Nissan hit the plug exactly on the head, that plug in exactly on the head with this electrification? Is it the better vehicle, the better SUV over a Toyota BZ4X or say even a Volkswagen ID.4? Let's go ahead, let's dive into our premier trim Ariya and find out. Right off the bat, the size. It actually has the exterior dimensions of a Rogue, but wait until we get to the interior because it's actually more spacious than a Rogue. It actually has the same kind of room as a Murano, which is a little larger than a Rogue. So exterior, think compact crossover SUV. Now at the front, you're going to see some very unique futuristic style. This is definitely that Japanese bullet train kind of style that they actually took from those high-speed rails. You'll notice what they're doing with their lighting. And this is something that on an EV, lighting, I really feel, not only builds a brand identifier, but also a personality, all unique to each particular EV. Now with this Ariya, you'll notice the multi-beam LED headlight setup. I love the way they kind of just pinched the headlight housing and then stretched it like Laffy Taffy all the way to the corner. Then we have those signature daytime running lamps and turn signals. Same story. The way that they just kind of pull it all the way to the edge, there's no way you're going to confuse the front of this vehicle, especially at night with the way the lighting is with anything else on the road. Now, there's two different reasons why they did this. First of all, not only from a style standpoint, and of course, there's that other standpoint, aerodynamics. Very important for an electrified vehicle. By making everything so small up top, look at how large the corner air curtains are. Absolutely massive, full airflow through that space, and I'm really digging how we have the signature copper color. If you remember all the way back in early 2021, we were at the Nissan headquarters. We did a review of this particular vehicle, or at least a pre-production version of it in the garage basement at the Nissan headquarters. Nice to have the color out here in the beautiful Nashville sun sparkling. You'll notice that fender flare. Like I said, aerodynamics. Not only does it help with the airflow up and around where the wheel and tire is, but also it gives it a nice, sporty, aggressive look. And that's something hard to do with an electrified vehicle. Working your way down, you do have the gloss black that matches the corner air curtains and the fender flare all along the bottom. They're going to make a lot of people happy. because they brought LED fog lamps. So a lot of brands getting rid of those. There they are on the Ariya. And then coming across the front section, they did a couple things, I think, spot on the money. First of all, of course, you have the updated Nissan badge. I like the way you got that metallic flat gray all the way around. This actually illuminates not only the circle portion, but the name Nissan illuminates. That's gonna give you such clear visibility of what vehicle this is at night. And then I'm also digging this see-through. It's not actually like this is the plastic. It's actually like a see-through where it's got this very intricate design. It gives us that V-motion shape, because that's something that Nissan is known for, is that V-motion grille. It brings the V, even though this isn't meant to be a grille. And you got your forward-facing camera. You actually got 360-degree cameras all the way around. On the lower portion, you do have the gloss black, and you have massive air openings in the bottom that are functional. Remember, this does have a liquid-cooled lithium-ion battery pack in the belly of this crossover SUV, and we happen to have the extended range. But we'll talk more about that when we start talking about the actual power. But definitely from the front, I see the bullet train, and I see a very, very unique shape to an electrified vehicle. Now, when we get up onto the hood, very low slung and super smooth. It almost reminds me of the hood on a Murano. So it's kind of interesting how the interior has that Murano space, but I'm really digging the way that they did the shape, the way that they brought the gloss black up onto the front portion of the front fascia, and then that beautiful copper color is just really seductive in this sun. Now, when we come around the bend, what are we working with on this Premier trim? Check out these wheels. Very, very cool and unique. So first of all, it's a 19-inch wheel. You will have the opportunity on different trims to go up to a 20-inch wheel, but I'm definitely digging the aero blades. So these are plastic aero blades that almost are the same copper color. It's more like a gunmetal gray kind of finish, but I'm really digging how they're colored like that. And then you'll notice the gloss black all the way around this is. You can see the different inserts and stuff, but 19-inch wheel, think that they did a great job making such a futuristic wheel, something that's gonna stand out. Plus, this helps generate airflow. So this wheel spins and spins and spins, takes that air and shoots it down the side. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this tire? You're basically looking at a 235 on the width, 55 series sidewall. The vehicle has 6.7 inches of ground clearance. And remember, you can get a Ariya front-wheel drive, which ours is front-wheel drive, one electric motor, or eventually they will be releasing, and we will be bringing it to you here on Raiti's Rides, the E-Force, which is gonna be the twin motor, all-wheel drive setup. But definitely, like I said, from a look standpoint, I'm really digging how they made things very creative. Now, as we kind of rise up, you'll notice that we have, of course, our charge port door. I'm gonna go ahead and open that. Lori's gonna swing around, and I'm gonna get my fingers in here so I can properly open that up. So that's where you're gonna plug in, right on the passenger side up front. We'll talk more about charging and all that good stuff in a few moments, but you close it up. The one thing I'm not really digging that I am gonna zonk, they put a Premier badge all the way on the bottom of the door. Kind of unnecessary. I don't know why that's there. I am gonna zonk it. I get that they're trying to say this is a Premier, but why did they put a badge all the way down there? Kind of goofy with its placement. But from the side, you can see the dimensions. Like I said, Nissan Rogue, that's a compact crossover SUV. And if you're comparing this to the BZ4X, you're not gonna confuse it. The BZ4X also has a very futuristic appearance, but I think that so far, Nissan hit the nail on the head. You got your gloss black mirror caps. We got 360-degree cameras. That's gonna make it nice for when you're behind the wheel and you're using that infotainment. We got a painted, I love the two-tone, and that's something that Nissan really fostered and brought into the auto industry. They were the first with the Nissan Altima to do that two-tone setup, sort of like a floating roof design that they called it. Another thing you'll notice is the painted silver trim. I'm glad they didn't use shiny bright metalwork. And if you remember on the Nissan Z, we have this same sort of katana blade that's gonna cut right through the other competition from those other electric vehicles. We got a full glass roof, that nice metallic finish. I wish they would have made this a quarter window. It is gloss black, so I'm gonna be curious to see how this will age over time, if you'll get a bunch of swirl marks in there. But it does look very sporty not having the glass window. I think with the glass window, it would obviously help with interior lighting and also just look better in the long run. But I love the way they did the belt line, color matched on the door handles, and the gloss black along the bottom. That's another area. It looks good. We will see over time how it's going to fare. But that katana blade, that really, I think, won me over. Like I said, not only with the Nissan Z, but definitely on this Ariya. As we swing around the back, I want Lori to kind of showcase that rear fender flare, and you can see how the fender kind of comes off the doors. So you look at the passenger doors, rear passenger door, flows nicely in, sort of like the Pathfinder. So I'm liking the way I'm seeing a lot of different design elements. And then check out our roof spoiler. Looks like something off of some kind of sports car, but you're gonna have that nice style. We got twin shark fin antennas. Not many cars running twin shark fin antennas up top. They are color matched. Let me know what you think about them. Kind of looks a little weird at first, but they're there for a purpose. We'll talk more about that once we get to the interior. The wiper. I am gonna have to zonk this. I wish that this could have been tucked underneath. That would have made this so good to look at and obviously increase that airflow. But we got the air coming off the back just really nicely. This kind of kills the look for me. So I am gonna zonk that, but definitely one thing that they just knocked it out of the park is the lighting. Full LED, super thin, just like up front. And look at how it goes all the way across. And look, I can't scratch these letters off. It's because it's inside the actual housing. That to me just kind of brings up the whole level of feel, fit and finish. Plus it looks damn good. Digging the Ariya badge. And then here, this makes sense. We put a Premier badge. That makes sense. Get the ones off the doors, the front doors. But I love the Ariya badge, and then working our way all the way down. Even the lower bumper, they did a great job making it look like a simulated rear diffuser. It almost looks like something off of their Formula E race cars. Yes, Nissan races in Formula E. But why don't we go ahead? We got the front wheel drive single motor Ariya. Let's pop the hood and see what the heck is underneath. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. Do you have a prop rod? Underneath, no front mounted trunk space, but that's because they did it on purpose to give you more interior volume. But there it is. That is that front motor on our front wheel drive Ariya. What do we got? You have 238 horsepower, 221 pound-feet of torque. We do have the extended range battery, which is an 87 kilowatt per hour battery, lithium ion liquid cooled battery pack. Standard is 63 kilowatt per hour. 0 to 60 in this vehicle about 7 seconds. Top speed 115 miles per hour. Range 289 mile range. If you put that into MPGEs, you're looking at 105 MPGEs in the city, 91 on the highway. Quick charge, 20% to 80% happens in 40 minutes. If you're using a level 2 home charger with the battery totally dead, it takes 14 hours. The vehicle weighs 4,608 pounds. And if you're comparing this to the Toyota BZ4X, the Ariya definitely is the winner. BZ4X only has 201 horsepower. BZ4X only has a 252 mile range. So you can see, like I said, that work that Nissan has done with the Leaf, bringing it into the Ariya. Why don't we go ahead, let's turn this Ariya on and see it in motion. All right, guys, get your copper tone because we are in this copper metallic 2023 Nissan Ariya. Like I said, this is the Premier trim. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I've been looking at all my neighbors that have Teslas. I've been kind of thinking an Ioniq maybe from Hyundai, or maybe even an EV6 from Kia. I've also looked at the BZ4X and even the Volkswagen ID.4, but you know what? My family has always had Nissans, going back to my great-great-granddaddy that had a Datsun pickup truck. I want a Nissan and I want it to be electrified. How much is this? So this particular one, the way that it's optioned is right around $54,600. To put it in perspective for you, the starting price, entry level into an Ariya, is around $43,000. Top trim with the E-Force all-wheel drive is going to be $60,000. So let's see how it stacks up to the competition for the price, to the door panels. I love the great clean style. You're not going to feel like there's anything borrowed from any other Nissan products. Now, up top, you have soft touch material, and then you'll notice like a gap between the top portion of the trim of the door and then the larger portion. That's actually LED lighting. There's a thin strip of LED lighting that changes color when you're using the new ProPilot Assist 2.0. That's autonomous driving. We'll talk more about that in a second. Love the way they did the stitch work. And then you'll notice you got the copper stitching on the center armrest there. Also, you'll notice the intricate design, just like a Japanese lantern that actually illuminates a nice soft white light. I am going to zonk the gloss black right around the switchgear and the switchgear itself. That's going to get just total destroyed with fingerprints. And then the door pocket is a pretty decent size. You could get your main dish and two sides in there. I would say a couple pieces of cornbread and some ribs, maybe some green beans in their southern style. Now going from the door panel to the dash, look at all the space we have. The dash is so far forward, soft touch material with the stitching. Look at how they brought the copper bronze color inside. They hid the AC vents, nice wood finish. And then as we slide across the center stack, this is where that minimalistic Japanese style comes into play. You're immediately going to be greeted by a 12.3-inch infotainment system screen. Now, the great thing about this, it's actually convex. So it kind of bends outward to allow you and your front passenger to take full advantage. We got wireless Apple CarPlay, obviously navigation, full touchscreen. Let me show you some of my favorite features with it. First of all, this being an EV, got to know where the charging stations are. You hit that, and it gives you a full list with the directions to get you to that charging station. Even the way that they have, food. If you're looking for something to drink, all that is one finger touch. Another thing you could do right from this screen is actually make adjustments for the heated steering wheel for the driver. I could adjust my dual climate control, easy to do here. And this does have heated seats, no ventilated seats. And I am gonna have to zonk that at this price point. And then to get rid of it, you just go right back to home. And then that's the main screen. And then there's your navigation once again. Obviously for the passenger side, same story. Touch the screen and it goes away. Now another thing I want to show you is that here are your actual AC controls all through the screen. But don't worry, you have haptic buttons that I'm going to show you in a second. Love the clean graphics that they're using. And then of course, another very, very important thing when it comes to electrification is we're going to actually go into our apps here, hit EV, you could get your energy use, your driving range, all of that good stuff. Even have the AC come on at certain times so that the car is already cooled. Or if you want to charge the vehicle at certain times, maybe when the rates are a lot cheaper where you live, you could set that up as well. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Here's another thing, watch this. I hit camera, voila. Look at the clear resolution, trajectory out the front. You got your 360-degree cam. Nice to have that kind of flexibility. And then of course, there's those 19-inch wheels. That's gonna make parking so easy. Another thing that's gonna make parking easy is the parking assist that's on here. It will actually parallel park for you. Now, as you work your way down, you do have a physical volume knob, which is a nice thing to see. And there's those haptic buttons. So you're actually gonna hit and you could raise and adjust the temperature. Look at how the temperature's changing for the driver's side. And then I hit to have it cool down again, real easy. We got our power on button. And then watch this. This is James Bond stuff right here. We actually have a power dropping center console little cubby area. It's got this nice little lid. You slide it forward, felt lining. This is perfect for those 45s. Think about it. Your Elvis Presley, your B.B. King, your Dolly Parton, all of Nashville's greats. Keep those 45s in here, and the felt lining will make sure that they don't get scratched so they don't skip. Nobody wants to hear, you ain't nothing, you ain't nothing, you ain't nothing, you ain't nothing. You want to hear, you ain't nothing but a hound dog, right? That's going to stop that from happening so it doesn't skip and your party is just ruined. Then when you want it to go away, hold down the button. Voila, James Bond can't do it any better. We do have ambient lighting down below, that Japanese lantern lighting. You'll notice the flat floor because this is a BEV. What the heck is a BEV? Battery electric vehicle. Look at this. This is smart engineering. USB-A, USB-C, 12 volt, and there's a cubby for your phone and a place to actually wrap the cord around. So if your passenger needs a charge and they don't want to have the cord all over them, you could wrap it around there. You ready for some more James Bond? This is actually Mission Impossible. Dun, 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 dun. Look at this. Center console, the whole thing with a press of a button. Electric. That's what I'm talking about. Speaking of electric, we do have an electric shifter for the direct drive transmission. More of that wood finish. You could rub your wood all day long. Slide it open, 2 cup holders, and thank you, Nissan. We got the new Nissan key fob. No longer are you using the same key fob that Noah used on his Arc. We now have the updated one. Really love the size and the way it looks. You got your different drive modes. E-Step, that's for the regen braking, and your parking Pro Pilot Assist 2.0. Nice soft touch material, more of that copper bronze finish. Open it up, wireless charging, and 1 Nashville Twinkie. What's the difference between a Nashville Twinkie and a regular Twinkie? Is instead of cream, it actually has barbecue sauce in it. But anyways, seats. This is another area where they knocked it right out of the park. Look at the design, great material. Love the Alcantara microfiber suede material. Power seats for the passenger, power seats for the driver. We have that massive panoramic sunroof. Really, and I love the way that it opens up all the way like that. Real easy, one-touch operation, and Nissan's bringing a digital rearview mirror. Love that technology, but why don't you go ahead, get your Pro Pilot Assist butt over here. I want to show you behind the flat bottom steering wheel in the new Ariya. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. The great thing is you got 2 memory seat settings, so you could actually let somebody borrow your Ariya, and it's not going to screw up your seat position. I know you like to have that perfect. What's also perfect is I love the way they did the aluminum sill plate, and with the Ariya name that illuminates LED to greet you, let you know that you plugged in right. You do have, of course, all your electric seat controls, easy to get to, especially that lower lumbar. I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm telling you right now, I'm glad they sacrificed the frunk because the amount of room up here is ginormous. Absolutely gonna just shock you. Another thing that's gonna shock you is the steering wheel. 2-piece leather, love the perforated leather, nice flat bottom. You got the new Nissan badge. Love the way with the Nissan badge, you got the silver trim. It is gloss black to make adjustments for the most part. So that's gonna be a zonk, but other than that, it's a great looking wheel. You do have a telescoping and tilting steering wheel. It is manual in those controls. And then look at the 12.3 digital gauge cluster. It's concave. So this is just for you, the driver. Love all the information. I go into the different modes, sport, standard, and eco. Nice to be able to go through those different settings, and you're gonna be able to maximize. You get your power gauge and you got your speedometer. And then in the center, you actually have a bunch of different information that you could toggle through. And then the best part is most of the Ariyas, including this Premier trim, are getting a head-up display. So you could stay focused on where you wanna go. Pro Pilot Assist, that's that semi-autonomous driving. What it means is eyes on, hands off. You could literally, as long as you're looking forward, it will do all the steering on those mapped out highways for you. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the back seat and see if your passengers are gonna be happy that you went full on EV. All right, guys, back seat time, and I'm telling you, your passengers are gonna be spoiled back here. And if you're comparing it to the BZ4X, So far up front, the technology, the way it's laid out and the amount of room, it's a done deal. Back here, it's a slam dunk. It's a body slam. It's the suplex of all moves off the top rope in this back seat area. But let me show you around and you get a full taste. I do like the way they have the soft material from the front seat, and then they have this cloth style, which is kind of cool because I could see this being easy to keep clean. And then you got a nice pocket on each side, easily put 4 Tennessee hot chicken sandwiches back here. Hot chicken is the best. Google it. The Google will let you know. Command center time. They actually brought the wood. Everybody gets to rub their own wood back here. Like the way they carried that throughout. You do have 3 stages of heated seats, no ventilated seats, but we have the AC vents, USB-C, and a USB-A. I haven't shrunk any. 6 feet tall, and I feel really nice back here. What about the armrest? Let's see. Pull it down. Ooh, Charmin quadruple ply soft. That's the type of softness. You got 2 cup holders, and then check it out. Just like up front, I love the way they got this leather style material with the microfiber suede. Gives it a nice, sporty, fresh look. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in that cargo area and see how much room this has compared to the BZ4X in our Ariya. All right, guys, cargo time. Let's see how it stacks up to the competition. Hit the button, nice electric assist. What's great is you're gonna get the same amount of cargo space whether you go front wheel drive or all wheel drive. We're starting out with over 20 cubic feet of space. And if you wanna be specific, you're looking at 22.8 cubic feet of space. I love the way they have these nooks on both sides for a box of Twinkies. Perfectly set up. They know what Nissan owners want. They want a place to put their Twinkies so it's not sliding all around the cargo area. The seats do fold down. I'm gonna show you that in a second. It almost goes up to 60 cubic feet of space. This is why Nissan did not want to put a frunk. More interior volume for you and your stuff in the back. And what's great is it has that adjustable floor. So I'm gonna drop down the front portion so that you could see where the standard height is, and then you could drop down the whole floor so you could get those taller items. So if you're getting that big old barrel of mayonnaise, that whole year's worth of mayonnaise from Costco, you could get it in there no problem and still close the back. Now to get the seats, I am gonna zonk it. And the reason why I'm gonna zonk is because you have to run all the way over here and do this to get the seats down. Now I'm gonna run to the other side. So I guess if you wanna work out, that's a good thing, but if you're trying to save some time, that's the bad thing. But there is the space, and what's great is the floor is totally flat. So if I bring this back up, look at how everything is very flat from the back portion all the way forward. But you know what? It's that time. Let's go ahead, get charged up, and go on throttle in the new Ariya. All right, guys, we're inside this 2023 Nissan Ariya, that premier trim, front-wheel drive with the extended battery. Right away, it makes sense what they did with the layout of the interior. A ton of room in here. A ton of room, especially when comparing this to the BZ4X or the Volkswagen ID.4. And that really is the reason why there's no frunk. So I know we talked about that earlier. We gave it a zonk, but I'm kind of recanting the zonk because of all the space that we have in here. Seats are very comfortable, and that's something that with Nissan vehicles, I know Lori loves their zero gravity seats. These seats, very supportive, very comfy. The way they did the gauge layout makes total sense. I don't know why nobody else thought about this. Digital gauge display, concave, because it's for me. Infotainment, convex, because it's for me and the other person sitting up front. That makes it easy for them to access, easy for me to access, and then I have the instrumentation in front of me, and it's easy peasy. Visibility is phenomenal. They really have the A-pillars way far apart. Rear visibility is great. And then obviously if you have people sitting in the back, you could turn on that digital rear view mirror and you're good to go. All right, guys, we're getting on the road here in the 2023 Nissan Ariya. And I know we've already done some highway driving. Nice to get on these country back roads, because really when you're taking that family vacation or you're going on that one trip, it's really nice to go off the beaten path. And being here in Nashville, getting out of the city, this really makes it an adventure, that's for sure. Now, right now I have it in eco mode, but what's great is with the simple touch of that drive mode haptic button setup on the center console, we could easily change that. We could go right into standard. And what's interesting, as soon as you go into standard mode, you could feel the difference with the regen braking. And that's something that I think I'm loving with the instrumentation, is that no other brand has shown how that regen braking works. It's that blue, it's being lit up by blue. That means we're slowing down, which is obviously recharging that lithium ion battery. Everything else is well laid out, but let's go ahead, let's put in the sport mode, because you know that's how I like to operate. And we're definitely gonna go on throttle here. Don't you worry your little self. But here we go. I'm gonna come to a complete stop. Nobody is behind us. We're playing it safe here on Raity's Rides. And if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. So obviously, if you want the greater performance, you're gonna need to go with the E-Force, that twin motor setup. All right, I remember back when I was, getting my driver's license and taking that test, the one thing I was sweating bullets over was parallel parking. Well, guess what? Nissan has you covered with the park assist. We're already in drive. I'm gonna hit that P auto button. We're now going to switch the spot, because now we're going from a standard spot to parallel, and we're gonna do the same exact thing. So we're gonna inch up, and this spot may not be super tight like you find, but you could go into tighter spots with this. The technology is there. So our blue arrow is illuminated. Guess what? Ready to rock and roll. Cars pulling up. I'm not doing anything. You can hear the parking assist slowly. This is unbelievable. But like I said, this is what Nissan is doing. I like the way it turns on your signal for you to alert the people behind you. This is out of control. The wheel, and what I like about it is just so intuitive and very easy to use. It's like you don't have to be holding up the line of traffic as you're trying to get the car parked. You notice the cameras, you could watch everything super clear. Wow. If only they had this for my driving test. Hey guys, we're on the highway again, heading back to wrap this one up, and I just want to showcase the Pro Pilot Assist, which is on this Ariya. Quite interesting having this semi-autonomous driving experience, because it's eyes on, hands off, but you got to make sure that you keep your eyes forward, which is obviously important. I'm adjusting the speed here a little bit because of the speed limit being a little bit higher than the country back road. So I'm making that speed limit change right up to 70. And as you can see, I'm just sitting here chilling like a villain. So with the Pro Pilot Assist, it's using the cameras, it's using the sonar technology, and what it's allowing is me to be able to have the hands-off experience, hands-free experience of driving. Now, if I look away, eventually the system will detect that, and see, it gave me a warning. It said, look forward. The road's turning a little, and the Ariya is turning. Takes a little bit to get used to. You know, you want to kind of grab for the wheel when you feel like, oh, are we getting out of the lane? But no, it stays nice and centered. Speed, the cruise control set to 70, because that's what the speed limit is. And it's really simple. The thing I like is how it really makes you look forward. So don't think that you could go play Donkey Kong on your phone, or, you know, send somebody some text messages. You have to be looking forward. But this is what the Ariya is bringing, technology on many different levels. I hope that this review has kind of covered everything nicely for this crossover SUV. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been one heck of a honky-tonkin' kind of day here at Nashville with this 2023 Ariya. Definitely want to thank the whole Nissan team for inviting us to this media event. What do you think? Has Nissan hit that electrified vehicle perfectly on the head, or are you going to go the Toyota route with a BZ4X? Heck, maybe even a Volkswagen ID.4. Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raity's Rise family. We got to give it up to the person that electrifies everybody's life. Lori working that camera like a champ. Show her some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.